Hi you guys, welcome to today's small group. It has been so long, it feels like, since we did our last small group. Life has been crazy and I'll talk about that a little bit more as we go on, but I'm super excited to be doing a small group with you guys. I'm excited to just be able to sit down and talk about life and talk about what's been on my heart. I hope that it encourages you as always. If this is the first time that you have watched a small group video on my channel, I actually have a playlist of all the small groups that I've done previously. I think there's maybe 5 or 6 or so. So if you want to, feel free to catch up on those. So those ones where I did live, and as you can tell, this one is not live. So the reason I'm not doing it live this go around is because I just felt like with all like the technical difficulties, if you guys watched it live last time, you guys probably remember all of the crazy technical difficulties that I had during it, and that just made it like really stressful for me, and it just it kind of got me like super distracted and flustered, and I'm like trying to speak what's on my heart, and the computer's going crazy and all that good stuff. So I just thought that it would be easier this go around if I didn't do it live, so I hope that's okay with you guys because I think it'll work a lot better, but that doesn't mean that I don't want it to be like interactive. So throughout this small group, I might ask you to comment down below something that goes along with what I'm saying, or I'll just have like a question for you guys at the end that we can all talk about in the comments together. So that's how I'm gonna format it this time. Hope that's good. I think it's gonna work best. So today's small group is going to be about something that I have kind of been realizing these past few weeks, and it's perfectionism and how it can really kill your dreams. And so I'm gonna go ahead and get into it. I've got my handy dandy notes here again, so if you see me looking down, that's what I'm looking at. But I think this is gonna be really good. It's something that God has really been speaking to my heart recently in these past few weeks, and just kind of ripping the shell off of me of this whole perfectionism thing. And God's just really been showing me how it's just really sucking the life out of my dreams. So I wanna share it with you because I think it'll be encouraging to you, and I'm gonna go ahead and get into it. So perfectionism, I feel like, can often be like fun to look at, like over social media especially. There's a lot of like bloggers and a lot of travel pages and stuff like that where it just seems like everything is perfect. Everyone's on these amazing vacations. Everyone's house looks like tip-top shape, beautiful. And that can be fun to look at, but it can also lead you into a trap of comparison, which I have a small group video about that, so I won't talk about so much about that. But that's just not real life, and real life is broken, and it's messy, and it's raw, and it's at times so filled with joy, and at times it can be filled with pain, and that's okay. And I just feel like in our day and age with social media, it's just not shared enough of like real life, real stuff that we're going through, the fact that we all go through it. Nobody's perfect, because ultimately perfection is just a hoax. It's not attainable. It's in a crazy standard that we hold ourselves to. And that's not what God wants from us, and He didn't create us to be perfect. So off of that, there's a verse here that I really like. It's from Ecclesiastes 11:4, and it says, "He who watches the wind, waiting for all conditions to be perfect, will not sow seed, and he who looks at the clouds will not reap a harvest." And I just thought, man, like how many times have I not done something because I wanted it to be perfect, and I was waiting for the perfect condition, and I was waiting for all these circumstances to line up, right? Like how often do we do that? And recently God's just showing me like, what are you waiting for? Like, I didn't make you to be perfect. I didn't want this part to be perfect. I just wanted you to come and do what I'm asking you to do, and just be faithful and loyal to, you know, what I've asked you to do. So I saw something online that said, often perfectionism has us raising the bar to absurd heights and striving in our own efforts for something only God can do. And I just think that's exactly it. And I think, you know, personally, God's given me this kind of dream and vision for what I want my blog to look like, what I want to do through my Instagram and my YouTube channel and all that good stuff. And so the whole reason that this has come about, and this is just me personally, so apply this to your life however it fits, but I just felt like, you know, I had all these thoughts that I want to make videos on, or I had this picture I wanted to post because it made me happy, or something like that. And I feel like because we've raised our standards so high, especially over social media, that often we're just completely throwing the picture out of the, you know, to the trash or whatever, because it doesn't fit our theme, right? Or it doesn't look good enough. And in my case, it was, you know, the lighting's not right, or my backdrop's not good enough, or all these excuses. And I feel like perfectionism will constantly have you making excuses as to why you shouldn't do something, when in fact, that's the very thing that God's asking you to do. And he's not asking you to do it perfect. So it's like such a load off when we just completely rip off that perfectionism like shell around us and just say, I'm gonna do it, and it might not be perfect, and that's okay, because we weren't created to be perfect in the first place. And the thing about perfectionism too is perfectionism is such a paralysis. It completely paralyzes us in the sense that it stops us from doing what we're supposed to be doing. It stops us from you know, going after that dream that we have in our hearts. It can stop us from you know, doing something that we really want to do. Or another thing that I wanted to share with you guys that I thought was so good was, it says, Martha was worried and upset about many things, probably struggled with perfectionism as she served the Lord. As she prepared the dinner and set the table, she wanted everything to be just right. The problem was that she was setting a higher standard for herself than Jesus was setting for her. Only one thing is needed, Jesus told her. Then he pointed to Mary's example of peace and rest. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like, that's so amazing. Like, I feel like a lot of times I'm Martha and I'm trying to, you know, even for instance, when a friend comes over, and like, I will be the first to tell you, I am not a perfectionist when it comes to cleaning my house. I'm really trying, but I'm not a perfectionist when it comes to cleaning my house. I'm not a perfectionist when it comes to a lot of things except my work and my dreams. And so I find myself, you know, if a friend comes over, like scrambling to, you know, get the dishes done, or scrambling to pick up every last thing. And I think oftentimes we're, in fact, Martha, when God's just asking us to have peace and to have rest and just simply soak in the presence, you know? And a lot of times that just looks like forgetting about the mess and just saying, hey, I just want to hang out with you and I just want to have a conversation with you. And I think a lot of times we're so much harder on ourselves than we would ever expect anybody else to be. You know, it's like we're apologizing for, oh, I forgot to put my makeup on today, or sorry, I'm still in my workout clothes, or sorry, you came over and my house is still a mess. It's like we're apologizing for all these things, and it's, do we really need to apologize for being who we are? You know, life is busy, and it probably will never stop being busy, you know? And I just think, like, when I go to my friend's house, I don't expect her to look all dolled up and to have a perfectly clean house and to have everything set out perfectly. No, I just want to be with my friend. I just want to have a conversation and have girl talk and, you know, talk about amazing things together and just laugh or cry or whatever we're doing, right? I don't care if her house is clean or, you know, whatever the case may be. And that's just such a little example, but something that I think that we can apply to almost everything. I think, you know, we're putting this absurd bar to reach, and truly perfectionism is not attainable. It's something that we will never reach. We're never gonna look perfect. We're never gonna have everything perfect in our lives, because life wasn't created to be perfect. Life was, you know, created to cry through and laugh through and feel the pain and feel the love and love as hard as we can and all that good stuff. So with that being said, going back to how perfectionism just completely kills our dreams. Honestly, perfectionism, for me at least, I can say this personally, for a while I let it just completely suck the life out of my dreams, because I would constantly make excuses of, well, this doesn't look right, or I didn't say this right, or this wasn't super smooth, or, you know, I have a breakout on my face so I can't make a video, or something like so silly like that. And it's like, why are we letting these silly, just superficial things stop us from what is burning in our hearts and from, you know, what we're passionate about and what we want to speak out about or do in our life, or, you know, in our relationships, or whatever the case may be. But let's see what I wrote here. I just said, you know, perfectionism paralyzes us. It stops us in our tracks. And even though we think we have good intentions with trying to make it perfect, a lot of times we're thinking that our intentions are good, but in fact, that's not what God's asking us to do. He's asking us to be the Marys and to just have peace and have rest and not be perfect and not strive to do it the best that we can do it. Because I don't want my best. I want God's best. Going off of that, in 2 Corinthians, and it says, "My grace is sufficient for you. My loving kindness and my mercy are more than enough, always available regardless of the situation. For my power is being perfected and is completed and shows itself most effectively in your weakness. Therefore, I will all the more gladly boast in my weaknesses, so that the power of Christ may completely enfold me and may dwell in me." So really what we need to be chasing after is God's perfect love, is his perfect plan for us. It's not how should we make our dreams look perfect? How should we achieve them perfectly? No. God's saying, my grace is sufficient for you. My grace is enough. I will make your dream perfect in the perfect way for you, because God is perfect, not us. Why would we even need a God or need a Jesus if we were perfect human beings and we all just knew exactly what we were doing, right? Doesn't that kind of defeat the purpose? So perfectionism just really chokes us out of our dreams. It completely just makes our dreams go to the wayside because we're constantly making excuses. And like I said, I have been completely guilty of this, and that's why I'm making this, video, because I just realized, oh my gosh, like I've been letting A, B, and C stop me from pursuing the dreams that I have in my heart and that God's calling me to, when Jesus isn't saying, here's a dream, now do it perfectly. He says, here's the dream, your weakness is made perfect in my strength, and I will make it perfect. I will make it complete. I will make the dream come to fruition. So I just want to encourage you to think about, and oftentimes we're masked to it. We have this blinder over us because we think, well, our intentions are good. But I just want to encourage you to think about, truly think about, and even just watch in your daily life what you don't do or what you stop yourself from doing because of an excuse that really nobody probably even cares about except for yourself. I even talked to my mother-in-law the other day about this, and she's like, when I watch your videos, no offense, but I don't even look at your backgrounds. And here I am thinking oh, my background doesn't look good enough, the lighting's not good enough, I have to wait for a certain time of the day so I can get the sunlight, right? And it's I hope that the people who watch my videos, that you guys who are watching my videos, don't watch them for the perfect background. And who knows, maybe I'll have a beautiful background one day and that'll be awesome, and I won't reject that. But until that day, it's why would I wait for that to speak about the things that God's telling me to speak about? So I just want to encourage you, in your daily life, just really pay attention to the things that you stop yourself from doing because you can't do them perfectly, or because you're frustrated or stressed out or discontent with your situation, because you can't make it perfect. And so I just want to encourage you, go after the dreams that God has put in your heart. If you don't have a dream that you feel like God has placed in your heart to pursue and go after, pray about it. That's exactly where I started. I started pursuing this dream of mine, really that God gave me, because of somebody who said to me, what are you passionate about? And I didn't have an answer, and that really bugged me, and it was a few years ago, and I just thought, oh my gosh, I don't have any passions, I don't have any hobbies, who am I, And so I just started praying, God, give me a passion, give me something I'm so passionate about, give me a hobby or something. And that's how this whole blog and YouTube channel was birthed. So if you don't have a dream that you're going after, pray. God is faithful. He will show you the dreams. He will show you what you're created for. And if you do have a dream that you're, going after, then don't let perfectionism stop you, because God didn't ask you to make it perfect. He's going to make it perfect. And in your weakness, He is made strong. His grace is sufficient for you and for your dream. And so really, after I kind of went through this, and after I felt like God just totally just crashed this and wrecked this perfectionism off of me, I felt like I could breathe, and I just was like, oh my gosh, the pressure's off. I don't have to do this perfectly. God didn't ask me to do this perfectly. He just wants me to have peace and be restful and not try to strive in making these dreams happen. Because if He gave me the dreams, then He's going to make it come to fruition. I just have to be obedient to what He's asking me to do. So I hope that encourages you. For today's comment, for the comment sections down below, let's do your favorite verse or your favorite inspirational quote if you don't have a favorite verse. And let's post those down in the comments so that we can encourage each other. We can maybe discover some new verses or quotes that we can cling on to during the week. I will put some of mine down below in the comments as well, and I will definitely be sure to be commenting back to you guys. I want this to be like a conversation, ongoing conversation that we can talk about, do life about, and maybe even if you're bold enough to comment in the comment section, maybe just a simple word or simple phrase of something that has stopped you from pursuing your dreams, or something along those lines. So I hope that this encouraged you. I hope that this will give you kind of a new take on just throwing perfectionism in the trash, because we're never going to attain it. We're not supposed to attain it. And yeah, I think without it, it's like, whew, weights lifted off. I don't have to have all this pressure on me all the time to make things perfect, and it's honestly a really, really good feeling. So if this encourages you, let me know. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up. Maybe share it with someone who you think that would be encouraged by it. And I'm really excited that we got to do small group tonight, and Wednesday will be the miscarriage series, and that is going to be, I'm not sure how many videos that'll be, just kind of whatever, or however many kind of topics that I have to go through. But that's going to be a story filled with hope, and I'm really, really excited to talk about that as well. And I just want you to know too that if you haven't experienced a miscarriage, don't think that you can't watch these videos. I do want it to be, you know, hope-filled for people who have gone through miscarriages or are currently going through them, but I also want you to know it's not going to be this heavy topic, this like heavy, horrible story. I'm making these videos because I want to bring hope to it, and show you guys the things and tell you guys the things that God has really just shown it to me in my heart, and just done some absolutely amazing things, and I'm really excited to share with you guys. So if you're interested in that, they're going to be basically like pivotal life lessons that I learned through the tragedy of my miscarriage. So it's not going to be heavy, it's not going to be me sobbing on camera, but it's going to be real and it's going to be raw, and I think that it's something that was really needed to be talked about. So super excited. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Like I said, comment your favorite verse, comment your favorite inspirational quote, and if you're bold enough, comment down below what has been stopping you from pursuing your God-given dreams. So I hope that you guys have had an awesome Monday, or whatever day of the week that you guys are watching this on, and I hope that you know that you are deeply known and wildly loved, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!